Welcome to Chelsea Reads, where we get to live vicariously through other people's drama. Today we'll be exploring r/AmItheA. AmItheA for telling my daughter she knows nothing? Is her name Jon Snow? I, 41 female, have a daughter who is 17, and her father and I divorced when she was 7. We had a very rocky marriage, during which I was a stay-at-home mom, and I struggled a lot financially afterwards. Because of this, during our divorce, my ex-husband and I agreed that our daughter would live mainly with him, and I received alimony payments from him for about 4 years after our divorce. For the first several years after the divorce, my daughter would stay with me every other weekend and several holidays, the specific holidays depending on the year, and I always enjoyed our time together, but it would often feel like she didn't want to see me. She was never interested in any activities or occasions that I planned for us, and normally when I called to talk to her, she would be busy with school, an extracurricular activity, or something else. Usually when she would spend the night with me, she'd ask about the divorce and why her father and I aren't together anymore. I always tried to be as honest as possible with her, but I could tell the divorce had been hard for her, and when she started high school, she stopped visiting altogether. She and I have been low contact for the past few years, and this past weekend we had an argument regarding her graduation. She's graduating from high school this June, and I texted her to ask about the details. She responded with a very passive-aggressive text, asking if I would actually come, and how she didn't want to waste a ticket. I wasn't sure where it was coming from, so I called her and she started ranting about how I was never around, and that I always blamed her father for everything, and how I cared about my students more than her. I'm a high school teacher. I interrupted her and told her she knows nothing about what happened between her father and I. I told her she made her choice to stop visiting and not to answer when I call her, and that she couldn't blame anyone else for that, and she hung up. About an hour later, she sent me a long text about how I hurt her, and that she didn't want me at her graduation, and that I, quote, needed to change. Since that night, I've gotten several messages from my ex-husband's family about how I'm a terrible mother and how I should have been more involved when my daughter was younger, and I'm not sure how to handle this. AmItheA? So, this one's kind of hard to judge because I feel like we're not really getting a whole lot of details. So everything was really brushed over. And if that's kind of how she treats her daughter, OP treats her daughter, then yeah, I would say that doesn't sound like she's very involved in her kid's life. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of weird. We don't know the details about why they separated. There's just like not a lot of info here, but I don't know. I mean, if your kid's telling you like that comment, oh, are you actually going to show up this time? I don't want to waste a ticket. I don't think that that would be said if there wasn't a pattern already established of the OP missing important events in her kid's life. But if I had a kid and, you know, my husband and I were separated, I think I would really try to be more involved in seeing them personally, because like that's your kid, and especially 7 years old, that's really young. It's so weird. I just feel like that OP talked more about the alimony and stuff than she did about like actually what her relationship with her daughter was like. She says, you know nothing to her daughter, but it doesn't sound like that OP knows anything about her daughter. So in that sense, I would say that she's the A. Yeah, okay, so it looks like that Reddit kind of agrees with me. This is from Jeepers Creepers 74. I like their flair, it's pretty cute. You're the A because you are omitting information. How does the stay-at-home mom/primary caregiver immediately agree to every other weekend and select holidays? Why did your daughter stop coming in high school? Why are you low contact? Why did she assume you might not show up for graduation? Just one of these factors, standing alone, might suggest your daughter is overstating things. But adding them all together, and it seems like you weren't interested in anything other than part-time parenting, and now she's calling you out for just that. And then, I told her that she made her choice to stop visiting and not to answer when I call her, and that she couldn't blame anyone else for that. Nope, she was a child. She wanted you to chase after her to prove you love her, and you wanted her in your life. You're a teacher, you know how teenagers act, and yet you failed this basic test. Right? Pretty much exactly what I was saying. So yeah, it's odd the fact that OP left out so much information. There's really a lot missing here, but you add up the information that you do have, and it really paints a picture of a parent who wasn't involved. So yeah, you're the AOP. Am I the A for telling my daughter she's dressed inappropriately and making her change? I, 47 female, have a daughter, Matilda, 16 female. Matilda is mature, well-behaved, and I have no issues at all with giving her independence. I recognize she is growing up and should be allowed to experiment with fashion. Yesterday evening, Matilda was planning to go to the mall with her friends. She was wearing denim jeans and a green top, and at first glance, I had zero problems with this outfit. However, when she turned around, she had a black whale tail poking out of the top of her jeans. Oh my gosh! Okay. No, I'm not gasping because of the whale tail. I'm just like gasping at the fact that that's back in fashion. I can't believe that's back in fashion. I didn't know like the little lowriders were back to where that would be in fashion. So people who don't know what a whale tail is when a girl has, the stringy underwear. I don't know if you can say it on YouTube, so but the string underwear, and she wears it with low-cut jeans, and so that way the top of the underwear is poking out of her pants. It was really, really popular in the early 2000s. Oh my gosh, and they called them whale tails because they kind of have the shape like a whale tail. So I just can't believe that that's back in fashion. I'm obviously not hip on the stuff, I didn't really have the courage to wear anything like that back when I was a 16-year-old kid. My mom probably wouldn't have let me get away with that either. But I'm just tripping out because I thought that was a trend that was long ago buried and decomposing. Oh my gosh, I thought high-waisted pants were still in fashion. I knew that Y2K stuff was coming back, but that just kind of cracks me up. It's very, very, very Y2K. Okay, let's see how this continues. I asked her about this and said I didn't think it was appropriate. I have no problems with what underwear Matilda wears, and that's her personal choice, but I do not think it should be on display, especially for someone her age. Even though I think it's trashy, that's not the main issue, and I wouldn't consider myself a prude. I just feel a teenager having their underwear on display is suggestive and inappropriate. I told Matilda the same, and she told me how unfair I was being, and it's, quote, just fashion and doesn't mean anything. I tried to come up with a compromise, saying that she could keep the underwear on, just not have it on display. But she said that went against the whole point of the look. As she didn't agree, I simply told her that she couldn't leave the house unless she changed. She started to become extremely moody and annoyed, but as she was going to be late to meet her friends, she relented and changed her pants so the underwear wasn't on display. When she came back that evening, she was still annoyed at me. Now I feel like perhaps it's just fashion and I was too harsh for making her change. Am I the A? Okay. Alright, so you can understand it from both points of view, right? At least, I feel like I can, because yeah, on one hand, from the teenager's point of view, it is just like, it's a fashion trend, her friends are doing it, it's not that big of a deal to her. And then from the mom's point of view of having, 30 years of life experience over her daughter, she's seeing it as, it's not about just you, it's about the rest of the world. It's the fact that you're going to this public space, you're wearing something that's very sexually suggestive, and people will leer. I mean, there's certain things that you wear where, as a woman, that I don't want to say it like gives permission to people to leer, but it kind of invites stares. It's like you're wearing it for attention. It's not just about it being cute or fashionable. It's because it's a very suggestive style, and she's a minor, presuming that this is in the US. As a woman, you have to do certain things to protect yourself. Predators will use any kind of anything, any sign as an excuse to be a predator. I think the mom was not the A for kind of putting her foot down and saying, look, it's not appropriate. You're 16 now, you've got a limited life experience, you don't know how bad the world can be, and wearing that could be an invitation to do something to you. Some people, bad people, will take it as that, and so you have to kind of, in a sense, cover your own butt. And I don't know, it sucks. people, like, you should be able to wear what you want without having to worry about being leered at or having people come after you, because that kind of makes it sound like victim blaming, and that's not the case. It's just, the fact is that those things do happen. It's a terrible, terrible world sometimes, and those things do happen. I'm not saying that just because she wears that something bad's gonna happen. I'm just saying you don't want to invite anything to happen. Does that make sense? So it's just a matter of kind of recognizing the social situation that you're in and whether or not that's appropriate or not. When she's 18 or 20 or whatever, then she can wear whatever she wants, and hopefully by that point she'll have a few more years of life experience to be able to have that situational awareness and protect herself. So yeah, I mean, mom's just doing her best by her kid at this point and trying to help her kid see some blind spots that she may have. So yeah, but I can definitely understand too, like, why the teenager is like super frustrated and thinks her mom's just being a square and everything. And hopefully she'll get over that. Yeah, and so Struggle Do 3218 says, not the A, my mom used to police what I would wear unnecessarily, so initially I was worried with this post, but 100% agree, a whale tail is not appropriate for a 16-year-old to be wearing out, and I'd actually be concerned for her safety going out to the mall like that, to be honest. Yeah, see, okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one who thinks that. You gotta do what you gotta do to protect yourself and cover your own butt. So that was r/AmItheA. Let me know what you guys think about today's stories. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. Give this video a little like and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, please remember to be kind to other people and be kind to yourself. Talk to you soon.